Hello and welcome to Getting Started with Prezi Present. In this training, we'll cover all of the basics of building a Prezi presentation, from adding your own content to how a Prezi is structured, and then finishing up with how to share and present that presentation. I'd like to begin here by showing what a Prezi actually is. So here I have a Prezi presentation, and I'm going to just quickly kind of walk through this presentation. The first thing you should notice is that it's organized a little bit differently than a PowerPoint or a slideshow based presentation. Notice I have topic areas here. I can dive into each one of these, which I'll get into in just a second, but I can also go through the presentation linearly using my arrows here or on my keyboard. So I'm going to go through this presentation using the arrows on my keyboard just to give you an idea of what it looks like to navigate a Prezi. So when I hit my right arrow, we will zoom into the first topic, and notice that we zoom into the topic to reveal the content inside. Prezi at its core is all about that zoom reveal aspect. If I keep hitting my right arrow, we're going to continue to go through all of the content. So it will go through all possible subtopics, as you can see here, and it will go into the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and it'll continue to dive into every possible topic and subtopic that has been layered throughout this presentation. I can, at any point, take over using my mouse. So if I want to, I can come over here to the home button and I can navigate wherever I want. We call this conversational presenting because it allows the audience to guide the discussion. So if my audience said, hey, can you go into the research topic? I can take my mouse here and go right into the research topic and zoom in to reveal the content inside that topic. From here, I can continue to go wherever I want. I might choose to jump into one of these topics. Let's jump into setting expectations, for example. And there we are inside that topic. If I want, I can start presenting linearly from this point right here. Just hit my right arrow and we'll go right into the next subtopic. Or I can still use my mouse, and if I want to scroll down, we'll zoom out a level, or I could scroll up to go back into any of these subtopics. I could scroll out again and we'll be back at our overview. So this is just a quick little demo of how a Prezi is structured and how it's presented. Today we're going to spend most of our time building content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my dashboard, and we'll kind of just walk through the basics of the dashboard before we create our content. When you sign into Prezi.com, you will see your 3 products on the top left. So we do have Prezi Video, which we have a video available for training for building this type of content. Notice I have all of my recordings sitting here. We have Prezi Design, which is our infographic product. You can see I've got all kinds of stuff here. And lastly, we have Prezi Present, which is what we'll be focusing on today. You do have the option, if you're on a team account, to have branding applied and soon a team library. You can also organize your content into folders just to keep it nice and clean and organized. Today we're going to focus on creating from a template. Once you get more comfortable, you'll probably choose to create from scratch, but today we're going to be building from a template just to make it a little bit easier on ourselves. So I'm going to click on the button here that says Create from Template. And there we are. So here we are in our template chooser. I can start scrolling down and we've got a ton of templates. One thing I want to make sure is very clear is that every single one of these templates is completely customizable. For example, if you like this campaign project management template here, but you don't like the hexagon shapes or you don't like the pink background, you can change all of that, right? You can change these shapes to be circles or squares or logos, photos, whatever you choose to put there. And you can swap out that background to be whatever you want. You can change the colors. Maybe you like this one here, the newsletter, but yellow is not part of your branding. No problem. You go inside and you change those colors. So for today, we're going to choose a nice simple template. Let's see what we're going to go with. Maybe let's go with budget planning. I'm a fan of this one. It's a nice modern look. So let's go ahead and click on budget planning. And we're going to use this template. And there we are inside our editor. So I'm going to quickly walk through the basic functions of the editor before we start creating some content. So up here, I have a little hamburger button where I can go and just basic preferences menu button, go back to the dashboard or start a new presentation. I can even find help and view some keyboard shortcuts to make my creation experience a little bit smoother. There's a little cloud icon here letting you know that all of your changes are synced and saved to the cloud. A little title box here, which I highly recommend putting in a descriptive title. So let's say Getting Started with Prezi Present. The more descriptive the title, the better, because when you search the presentations from your dashboard, it only searches this title box here. It will not search the content inside your presentation. Hit OK, and it'll save that title. Over here, I have my style and my insert button. These two buttons are really the bread and butter of your content creation. So the style button is sort of your apply all. So this will apply sort of a global change to the entire presentation all at once. So for example, if I want to change all of my topic shapes for the whole presentation, I would change it here through the style button, for example, to circles. And there we are. We now have circles as all of our topic shapes, even at the subtopic level, which you can see inside our little thumbnail previews here. I have the undo button, which I'm going to use now to get back to our squares. The style button is also where you will change the background for the presentation or apply your branding, your color palette. When you want to add content to your presentation, you'll do that here through the insert button. So if you want to add a new text box or an image or an icon, animations, shapes, charts, videos, really anything you want to add into your presentation, you can do it right here through the insert button. If you want to share your presentation, which there are a number of ways to do that, you can create a view link. So if you want to send your presentation out to somebody who does not have a Prezi account, but you want them to be able to view it and click through it themselves, you can do that here by creating a view link. You can also invite a coworker or any other Prezi user to collaborate on a project with you. So you could just go to collaborate, add a collaborator, type in their email address here, and give them varying levels of access so they can either edit or present or comment. Edit, of course, includes the other two. And you can kind of control what access they have of that presentation. They'll also be able to make a copy if you add them as a collaborator. Over here we have two buttons. The create video button, which we cover in the other training, will help you to turn your Prezi Present into a Prezi video. And then lastly, we have sort of our preview options over here. So if I want to see where my presentation currently stands, if I were to take it into a presentation, this is what it would look like. And I can kind of click through it and see how it's looking, kind of give myself a little preview here. I'll hit escape to get back out of here, and there we are. So I'll come back to my overview here. The last part of the editor I want to cover is there are presenter notes. So you do have the option to add presenter notes at every level of the presentation up here on the top right. And you also have your option to add topics right up here, which we'll cover in just a bit. And then lastly, we have our sidebar on the left, which is how you control the order and flow of your presentation. So you might ask yourself, what are these little numbers here? These numbers tell you the order. They tell you the path steps of this Prezi presentation. So we're here, right, at step 1, at the overview. The very first action of this Prezi is to zoom into the foundations topic where the next 9 steps will occur, right? We'll go into these subtopics and subsequent subtopics before finally coming back out to our overview, where we then jump into step 12 at budget management. The sidebar is also where you would rearrange the order of your presentation. So for example, if I wanted charts to be first, even though it's on the right, no problem. I can come over here in the left sidebar and drag it to the top, and I could rearrange everything so that it's now going to present right to left, as you can see here. If I want to click on one, for example, you can see it going right to left with my little path bars here, and there we are. So I'm going to hit undo just to bring us back all the way back. I'm just going to hit it a bunch of times so we're right back to where we started this presentation. So we're about ready to add our content. I will say, before you begin any presentation, whether it's a Prezi or a PowerPoint or a manuscript or a video, really anything, you're going to want to have a plan for that presentation. So some type of approach. Now I typically would use an outline if I were building really any presentation, right? I'd write up an outline or I'd open a Word doc and build an outline. We recommend using what are called mind maps. Mind maps are kind of just a visual outline, and it looks very similar to a Prezi. So that's part of why we recommend it. So I could see here, please excuse my handwriting, my Apple Pencil was not picking up very well when I was drawing this. But you can see I have one main topic that's just PayHut employee onboarding. PayHut is our fake company that we'll be using for today with its fake branding and sort of fake agenda and all that. And then we have, or I should say mock agenda, our mock company. And we have 3 primary topics. We have one that's called about the company, another one that's called our team, and that's what's called a stack topic. We'll come back to that later. And then lastly, a third topic called culture. So from here, let's head back to our, and you can see I also added subtopics for each of these, so we'll dive a little bit deeper once we get in there. From here, let's go back to our back to our presentation and start to prepare this presentation. So the very first thing I like to do is I like to set my topics. So I know from my mind map that I'm only going to need 3. So I'm going to select 2 topics and just delete them. It doesn't matter which 2. I'm just going to clear off 2 at random. So to select multiple objects in Prezi, all you have to do is hold the Shift key. So I'm going to hold Shift and select 2 topics. There we are, timeline and charts, and I'm going to right-click on any of them and then delete them both. And there we are. So now I'm going to kind of just rearrange my topics a little bit just to kind of space them out a little bit more. And I'm going to name these name these topics. So the first one over here, we'll just call this one Our Team. The next one over here we'll call About the Company. And then lastly, we have Culture. There we are. So some of these are centered and some of them aren't. For example, cultured is definitely not in the middle. So I can click on the text box and just drag and drop it right into the middle there. I'll get my crosshairs. And you'll probably also notice that these boxes are not the same size. There's no number value in Prezi. So it can be a little bit tricky for the first time user to figure out how to match the size of something. So let's say we want all of them to be the same size as About the Company. So I can start adjusting the size of Our Team, and when it is the same size as About the Company, it's going to put a blue box around that topic, which you could see here. It's really subtle because it's blue on blue, but there is currently a blue box around About the Company. So I'm going to do the same thing for Culture. This time I'm going to go bigger because it's smaller than the other 2. And there we are. Notice the 2 blue boxes around the other 2 topics, and when I let go, all 3 are now the exact same size. Okay. So what I like to do next is I typically like to brand my presentation right at about this point. So apply my colors. So to do that, I'm going to come up here to my Style button, and I'm going to click the 3 little dots next to Colors, and I'm going to create a new color palette here. You probably won't have the 55 or so palettes I have saved, so you definitely won't. So go ahead and create a new one the first time, and then you'll be able to save it. So here I have the option to insert in my own colors here. So we're going to call this one PayHut Training. There we are. And we're going to just put hex codes right in. So most people have hex codes available for their branding. I have mine here saved in just a text file. So I'm going to carry these numbers, these hex codes, and just copy and paste them right here into each of these 5 color slots. So color 1 is my background, and I'm going to drop it right here. Just paste it in. There it is. And I'm going to do it again for topics, and I'm going to keep doing this for all 5 of these colors. So I'll just fast forward through this part of the video. And there we are. I have entered my 5 colors. So don't worry too much about where you put these colors. Just get those 5 colors in here. So don't worry about topics or border or accent or the labeling. Just get those 5 colors in. And what you're really doing is sort of creating a shortcut to those colors for later. I'm going to make all of my text options white, so I'm just going to come down here and make all of my text throughout the presentation be white, and there we are. So what I like to do next is I typically like to apply my background. That way I'm kind of setting the foundation for the presentation. I am going to save the color palette down here, and I'm going to add my own background. So to do that, we're going to get rid of all this sort of techie stuff. I'm going to come up here to the Style button and click the 3 little dots next to Background. Now I can search all kinds of stuff in the gallery here if I'd like. So for example, I might put in something like background, and we get all these great graphics that lend themselves really well to a background for a presentation. Right? So maybe a wood paneling or a nice road, which could be used as some sort of metaphor. We got the matrix here. We've got all kinds of stuff. I'm going to upload my own image for today's background. So I'm going to click Upload Image, and then I'm just going to search my computer until I find my folder where I have my PayHut background, and I'm just going to open it and apply it right in just like that. Okay. So from here, while that's loading, what I typically like to do is I like to put in my logo pretty early as well. So I'm going to insert my logo into this presentation. So to do that, I'm going to come up to the Insert button here. I won't need my colors anymore, so I'm going to close out of this. I'm going to come up to the Insert button and insert an image right here. And once again, I'm going to upload an image the same way. I could absolutely search the gallery. My PayHut logo is not on the worldwide gallery. So I'm going to upload my own image. And I've got a couple options here, so I'm going to set this to be icon so I could see what's what. And I'm going to drop in my PayHut logo right here. And I'm going to kind of just put it right over my title, which I'm also about to change. So let's put that right there. And we're going to change this to employee onboarding. So all I had to do was click inside that text box, much like I did for my topics earlier. If it goes into 2 lines, no problem. I'm going to grab my little side anchor here and just extend it out. And there we are. Okay, so we've added our logo and we've changed our title and our topics are pretty much set. I do know that I want to change these shapes. So yeah, squares are okay, but they're not really making sense with my background back here. Everything's kind of sloping up to the right. So I'm going to change all of my topic shapes for this presentation. To do that, I'm going to come up here to my style button and click the 3 little dots next to topic shape. So now I have a ton of options available. I might do a hexagon or a circle or whatever I want here. I'm kind of liking those hexagons, but for today, we're going to come right down here to these nice parallelograms and we're going to apply those to all of the topics. And there we are. So I'm looking at a couple of things on this overview here, and one thing I'd like to change is there's a lot of blue. I'm going to go to this little background shape here behind my title, and I'm going to change it from a blue to green gradient to a green to less green gradient. So I'm going to go to my little fill options here for that shape, and notice that currently the gradient is blue to green. I'm going to switch it from green to green. So now it'll still be green, but it's going to kind of just fade out. The whole thing is now green. And there we are. So I mentioned before that you can rearrange your topics pretty easily. So let's say I want our team to be last, about the company to be first, and culture to be right here in the middle. There we are. That's better, but now my order is all messed up, right? Because our team is still first. So now it's going to start on the right, jump to the left, and then come to the middle. That's not what I want. I want it to flow left to right. So I'm going to drag about the company to the top and culture to second, and there we are, just like that. Okay. So now we're pretty much ready to dive into our topics and start going through the content. So I'm going to go into about the company and let's take a look at how it's looking. All right, so that's okay. Prezi templates have a lot of placeholder content. So when I come in here, this is mostly okay, but I typically, to be honest, I'll hit Control A or Command A on a Mac and I'll just delete everything and then I'll just add my own stuff. So I know from my mind map that I need to add a new subtopic called vision. So I'm going to come up here to our Add Subtopic button on the top left. When I click that, it adds a new subtopic. I'm just going to drop it off to the side over here, and let's call it Vision. There we are. Just like that. So I'm looking at this topic, and one thing I'm thinking is that this parallelogram here is a little small inside this topic, right? Like I'd rather have all of this be much larger relative to my overall frame. However, I cannot click this blue shape. If I hold Shift, I can't select it. I can grab everything except that shape. So why is that? The reason why is that this shape doesn't actually exist inside the topic. The shape is back one level here inside the topic cover for the topic. So what we're going to do to modify that shape inside the topic is actually change it outside the topic. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into what's called advanced topic editing. If you're taking notes, advanced topic editing is the single most important thing you'll learn in all of Prezi. So I can enter into advanced topic editing for this topic cover by right-clicking and coming down here to advanced topic editing. Now we're in advanced topic editing mode for my topic cover, and I can see a couple of things. Here's my shape, which I can now select. Notice that it's currently set to be visible inside and outside, and that's why we're still able to see it when we zoom inside. I could disable that so that when I go inside the topic, there is no shape. We'll absolutely do that in just a bit. But also notice that I have my zoom area here. My zoom area always represents my full screen. So this is saying, hey, when you zoom into the topic, this is going to be your screen, and everything else is relative to that. So notice how small the shape is relative to that zoom area. I might choose to adjust this zoom area, so maybe something just like this, and let's drop it right about here or so. Now it'll be nice and large when we zoom into that topic. So I'll click away real quick and now zoom into the topic, which you can do a number of ways. I typically zoom into a topic by just hovering over it and then scrolling up on my mouse wheel or on my trackpad. You could also just double click the topic and we go right inside. So now you can see when we go inside, the shape is much larger. So I'm going to kind of place this vision topic down here, and there we go. So I might choose to add a title inside the topic that says about the company, or we can kind of do what I already mentioned, and that was setting something to be visible inside the topic, right? So I could have this text box here still be visible inside, and what it'll do is create a really cool seamless effect where the title never disappears, but new content is revealed. So let's right click, go to Advanced Topic Editing, and now I'm going to right click on the text box, and we're going to make the text box visible both inside and outside. So now, when I zoom into the topic, the text never disappears, the shape never disappears, but new content inside the topic does appear. So let's zoom in, and there we are. Nice seamless transition just like that. When I zoom into vision, notice this shape currently disappears. So I can definitely adjust that if I want to. Let's go ahead and right click and go to Advanced Topic Editing. I'm going to right click on this shape, and I'm just going to check it one more time to make it visible both inside and outside. So now it will be visible at all levels of depth, even if I go in another level deep here. So I'm looking at this title still showing, which I don't want to occur. So I'm going to just kind of right click on this guy, and we're going to advance topic editing for vision. So here's my zoom area for vision, and I'm just going to move it just so that the E doesn't show up, just like that. Now when we zoom into vision, there will be no lettering inside this topic. Okay. So now I might choose to put a little title here for vision, just something simple just like that. And for vision, actually I would probably adjust my zoom area even further for this, but I'm not too concerned about it. We kind of already covered that. I'm gonna make this a little larger. There we go. And I'm going to insert an image. This time I'm gonna insert an image in a much more, maybe a little bit more of a streamlined way. So you have the option to have a folder open on your computer. For example, I have this folder here, and you could just drag and drop it right onto the canvas, just like that. Now I've got a picture, a mock-up of our website. I'm going to put this right about here, and there we are. Let's add two more things inside this subtopic. Let's start by inserting an icon to represent vision. So I'm going to come up to our icon library through the Insert menu. There we go. And I'm going to search something like vision. Pretty straightforward. And let's just grab one of these eyeballs here. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to find one I like though. One of these simple ones here. Maybe go with this guy. And there we go. And I'm going to kind of just offset this over here and maybe even have it off screen a little bit right about there. And let's make it white. So you can tint an object that you add by coming up to your little paint bucket. I could brand it if I want, but I'm just going to go with white. There we are. Maybe even make it a little larger. Just kind of set it off screen here. And there we go. I do want to add one final thing inside this subtopic. I want to zoom into this graphic. It's a little small, so I'm going to select it. And what we're going to do is we're going to set the presentation to automatically zoom into this graphic upon tapping the right arrow once we're inside. So we're going to sort of just pre-build in zoom animation. So I'm going to do that by coming up here to my Add Animation button, and I'm going to click Zoom to. This will only show up when you have an object already selected. So I have this image selected, so I can zoom straight into it, just like that, and you can see a little preview over here of what it'll do. And there we are. So it will do exactly this. It'll be just a final little mini zoom right into this website, just like that. And from here, if I wanted to zoom into the phone, I might choose to add a custom zoom area here, like this, and put it right over maybe this first step of the phone here, and it will then do this inside the presentation. Okay, so maybe from here I want to pan down to the second tile. I'll add another custom zoom area. And this one we'll put just right alongside it, just kind of right here, and we'll just pan down to the second one. So what you'll see when we're presenting, let's come all the way out of this topic here and let's go into preview. We'll be here, we'll go into the vision. When I hit my right arrow, it's going to zoom into the website. When I hit my right arrow again, it's going to zoom into that first tile. And then I hit it again, it's going to pan down. And then we'll come back out. So animation's very easy, very effective for as a storytelling device. Really just a very simple, nice thing to know to sort of breadcrumb in some narrative into your presentation. So let's continue now with culture. Once again, when I zoom into culture, we've got our blue tile right here in the middle, which is okay. Not really where I want it. I don't want my parallelogram there. So let's just clear all this stuff off with Shift and Delete. And let's adjust Advanced Topic Editing again. So I'm going to right click and go to Advanced Topic Editing. And this one, maybe we have a little bit of fun with it. Let's make it kind of like a top border, something like this. Maybe right about here or so. And when we go inside, There's culture, and let's put some text right here at an angle. So I'm going to come in and insert my title here that will say culture. And let's have some fun with this text. Let's bold it. I typically like to shrink my text box down to match the text itself, and there we are. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this text to match this line right here. Okay, so let's do that. To rotate an object, any object in Prezi, just hover over the corner and hold Command on a Mac or Control and Alt on a PC, and you'll be able to rotate it. And I'm just going to put it nice and parallel with my blue shape right here, culture. So let's add an image of our team or maybe our workplace or something like that. But let's add from the gallery this time. So I'm going to go to Insert Image, and this time instead of uploading one, let's search our gallery. Maybe I search for something like workplace, and one of these represents our culture. I could even type in culture, but we're not going to get really a lot of work culture. We're going to get more sort of international cultures. So I might even come over here to something like teamwork and say our culture is all about, you know, having fun and all this stuff. So there we are. If you want to crop an image, you can come up here to your cropper. You could also edit it. You can apply filters to it or whatever you might want to do. I'm just going to crop it into a nice widescreen. So I'm just going to kind of cut it down a bit, maybe right about here. And then we'll make it a little bit larger. So now it's kind of like a little banner. And we're going to rotate this as well, just to match our culture right about here. And let's just offset that slightly. Just something just like that. I could even have this go off screen more if I want. I don't care. That works. Whatever makes you happy. This boundary here will cut off. So if you want to kind of cut this guy off in the, you know, bisect him here, you can. Otherwise, you could shrink it back down and bring it back in a little bit, right about there. Whatever you want to do, put those images where you want. Okay. So let's add a couple of subtopics here. So I'm going to start by coming up to my little drop down, or excuse me, coming up to my little plus subtopic button and adding a default subtopic. So here it is. Right now, I zoom in, we've got our green shape, and it's pretty much consistent with everything else we've seen. So I want to modify the heck out of this thing. I want to use an image as my topic cover. So no shape, I want my own image to be my topic cover. So to do that, you probably already know what to do because you made notes of it earlier. We're going to right-click, go to Advanced Topic Editing, and I'm just going to delete everything. I'm going to delete the text box. I'm going to delete the shape. So I now have just an invisible topic. Right, here it is. I mean, it's here. But if I'm presenting, notice there is no indicator that there's a topic there. But if I zoom into it, it's still going to reveal whatever I decide to put inside. So I'm a big fan of invisible topic covers because you can always hide whatever you want inside it. But we're going to go back into Advanced Topic Editing for this topic, and we're going to start inserting some stuff and embedding objects into the topic cover. So right-click, Advanced Topic Editing. Now anything I insert, either through drag and drop or through the Insert menu, will embed into my topic cover. So if I insert an image right now, I might choose to bring in my social impact circle, for example. This is our topic we're building, social impact. I'm going to make that a little bit larger. And maybe I'll even add a text box. Let's go ahead and add a text box. Let's go insert text. And let's just call it, whoops, let's click on the text box there. Let's just call it social impact. Nice and simple. Maybe I make this a little bit larger. Let's see, let's make it a little bigger. There we go. Maybe even add a highlight behind it. I don't have to because it's on top of the solid blue, but maybe I add just a little bit of a highlighter. And if I want to sort of round those edges slightly, I can just kind of smooth it out a little bit. Maybe even make it slightly transparent, something like this. And there we are. I have it right here. And if I want to, I could bring my photo in front of it. So kind of creating just an extra layer of 3D. If I want to go right click on that, bring it to the front. There we are. I've got my nice clear title right behind my photo. One thing I'm noticing from my text is that it's not aligned with itself. So if I click on the text box, I can align it with its highlight by going to my little alignment button here and drop it right in the middle, just like that. But now when we go inside our topic, it's empty, right? Because we deleted everything. And that's okay. That's exactly what we're going for. But let's take this a step further. Let's insert a title here, and let's just call it social impact. Doesn't really matter what we put here. Let's put in a title, and I'm going to just copy and paste some text in. But what we're going to do is we're going to insert a text box, just like this, insert text. And what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to make it quite a bit smaller and quite a bit longer, and I'm just going to paste in some text. It doesn't really matter what you enter. I do have a presentation prepared, so I'm going to just paste in some text right here. There we are, just like that. Now, if I want to add a new text box, so topic 2, right? Here's what we're building towards if you're curious. We're going to add these three text boxes. And I want them all to be even, and I want them to look exactly the same. If I come up here to insert text box, notice what inserts. Big, different font, different size, different everything, right? I'd have to adjust it until it matches perfectly. Or I can copy and paste this existing text box. I am a huge fan of Control-C, Control-V, or Command-C, Command-V. And now I can type in this new box here, whatever I want. So let's type in our sentence here. There we are. And now I'm going to do it one more time. So I'll Control-C, Control-V this last text box, and I'll just click in this text box and I will change the text. And there we are. So now let's adjust these text boxes a little bit. Let's say we have it right about here, and maybe you think this looks clean and professional and streamlined. I don't. Let's say we want to adjust it. I want to put it into alignment, and I want to create equal distance between my 3 text boxes. So you know they're clearly evenly distributed, and that's exactly what we want to do. So I'm going to hold Shift and select all 3 of these text boxes. And now I get my alignment button up here. So I'm going to start by just aligning it to the left, just like that. And then I'll click Align again. And this time I'm going to distribute vertically, just like that. Now I have nice equal distance between all 3. So I could see this pretty easily on top of this sky back here, but I might choose to insert a shape behind it. So for example, I can add a square or a rectangle. Let's just drop in one of these green squares here, and let's right click and send it behind my text. And I'll just kind of use this as my backdrop, because what if I had buildings or a busy background or something like that? This will keep it nice and clean, just like this. So if I don't want green on the sky, so this is a little bit tough for me to see, I might even add another shape behind that, so maybe a white one. So let's copy and paste this one, Control-C, Control-V, and let's make this one white. And we'll just kind of create a little border. We'll go right about here and send it to the back. Now it's got this fun little angle. And I might even bring this over right about there, or wherever I want it. I can make it bigger, smaller, whatever I want to do. Let's just drop it right about there. So I want to change one last thing for this topic, and that is when I zoom in, I want there to be almost no zoom animation effect. So notice when I zoom in, it's kind of a deep dive into social impact, right? I want there to be almost no noticeable zoom effect. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to go into Advanced Topic Editing here. And I'm going to make my zoom area really large. The larger I make my zoom area, the smaller the zoom animation effect will be. So I'm going to make it basically the same size as the topic we're currently in. So right about here. So notice what happens now when I zoom into social impact. So a little bit weird. So this got adjusted slightly, but I'm just going to make it larger. But this is exactly what happens. Notice we zoom in and we reveal the content inside. Very, very minor zoom effect. Okay. Maybe inside of social impact, we want to add a video. So let's just insert a video over here on the right side. So I'm going to come up to insert video right here. And you can either upload your own video or you can embed from YouTube. So I'm going to upload my own. And we're going to drop in this PayHut video right here, hit open, and just put it wherever we want. Maybe right about here. Let's put it in the corner here. And we'll just play it right here. So every video that you add to Prezi plays full screen. So it's something to keep in mind. Give that a second to finish loading. I'm going to go and add a new subtopic while that's loading. So what I'm going to do, if I want to add a new subtopic, and this next one will be called inclusion, I'm just going to copy and paste the previous one because it's going to make my life a lot easier. Control-C, Control-V. Now this is its own topic. I could go into Advanced Topic Editing. Let's modify this text to say inclusion. And let's swap out this image here with another image. So I'm going to come up here to replace. And whatever image I insert now will actually take its place in same size and position and all that good stuff. So there it is. And notice they're exactly equal looking, except this one has been updated. So maybe this one I put off to the right. The zoom area is once again relatively large. I'm going to shrink it down for this one. Of course, the content inside is the same, but that's because we copy and pasted. But I would easily be able to come in here and modify this to be whatever I want. So let's quickly just preview what it looks like when we go inside the social impact topic. We go inside, there's our video. I can either hit that play button, I could fade in the video if I wanted to, and I can also just zoom into it and it'll play full screen.
Our world is confronted with an energy crisis on a global...
Okay, and then you can come right back out. So that's our culture topic. Let's finish up by going into our team. So our team currently is yet another planet topic. Notice how it has all these subtopics inside, and that's great, but it's not what I want to do for this particular topic. We're going to create a new topic, a replacement for our team. So it's still going to be called our team, but it's going to be a different type of topic called a stack topic. So let's delete our team. Right click and delete. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a new topic, but this time we're going to go to the drop down box here, and I'm going to choose the stack topic option. And there we are. We're going to call it our team. And once again, the sizing, if I want to resize this text box to match these two over here, let's kind of resize until it matches. There we go. Notice the blue box around culture. I did see that about the company might be a little different than the others. There we go. Now they're all even, just like that. And let's go into our team and see what we're looking at. So stack topics default to zooming all the way into the shape. So notice the blue shape is set to be visible inside and outside. And when we go inside, that's our background. So I could change page 1 here to be who we are. And this is the great thing about a stack topic, is that it is page-based. Notice inside a stack topic, I do not have the option to add subtopics. Instead, it will add a new page. This is page 2. Right? So you can add as many pages as you want and put whatever you want on those pages. You can have them all look different. This one could be blue. I might choose to insert a shape back here and send it behind all my content and make that one be green. And then this one has a green background. So whatever I choose to do there. So stack topics are almost like a little mini slideshow inside your presentation. Prezi also has another type of topic, which is always either a planet or a stack, but it's a topic with content already inside of it. So you can do that by adding what's called a story block. So think smart art if you're coming from Microsoft Office. If I come up here to insert story block, I have all these categories over here. I might choose to add a list or a timeline or goals or maps or something, whatever I want to do. Mock-ups, I am a big fan of the mock-ups, I'll be honest. Laptops, phones, putting images inside of them, it's great. For today, we're going to be introducing our offices, so I'm going to come over here to the map options, and let's go with World Map 2. There we are. And it added as a new page right here. So I might choose to adjust this and say something like our offices. And let's do that all caps like the rest of the presentation. Our offices. And let's just add a little subtitle here, something, oops, that's a little high. Something like, we're growing. There we go. So I've got my map here. I might choose to make all of this slightly larger. It's up to me. I don't really have to because I'm going to actually add zoom areas all over this thing. So let's say we land on this page here and I want to start by zooming into the east coast of the United States and fading in our first office location. I'm going to come up here to the little drop down box for my add topic. I'm not going to add a new page. I'm going to add a custom zoom area here. And I'm going to put it right here on the East Coast. Right about here. Maybe a little less. Let's not capture any of Europe. Maybe a little bit right about here. So there we go. I could see my preview here of exactly where it'll be zooming to. The East Coast. And then once we're inside here, I'm going to fade in a text box right here that has our office location. So let's do that. Let's insert a text box. And I'm going to insert text. And let's just put in our location. So this will be Philadelphia, USA. And there we are. I might choose to, let's go ahead and have some fun with this text as well. Let's make the text like a dark blue with a white highlight. There we are. Maybe we round the corners a little bit. Let's make it a perfect pill shape. And let's adjust the transparency just a little bit so we can still see the outlines of the states back there. There we go. So obviously this is not on Philly. Let's drop it right around Philly there. And there we are. So if I know I'm going to be adding more cities, I'm going to copy this. Let's hit Control C. And there we go. There we go. So I'm going to add that's kind of just copied to my clipboard. We're going to add another one next to Greece here. So I'm going to start by adding another zoom area. And this one we're going to put right here by Athens, and that'll be our second location. Let's just drop it right about here. And let's zoom into this area. So typically what I would do is I would just click on the zoom area here just to get right up on it. And I'm going to paste my text box. That way it looks exactly the same. The opacity is the same. I'm going to adjust this to say Greece, or excuse me, Athens, Greece. There we are. I'm going to center my text in the highlight, of course, just because that's good practice. And there we go. And I'm going to come back out and I'm going to add one final zoom area. And this one's going to be on the east coast of Australia. So let's add one more zoom area here just for repetition, just to really make sure it's all encoding for you all. And we're going to put this right over Australia. Let's zoom into Australia. And let's just paste that text box once more. And let's just say Sydney, Australia. Let's put this right down here, right about there or so. And then I'm going to center that. I could shrink it down if I want, just to kind of match the text a little bit better. It's up to you. Maybe right about here. And there we are. So I have my fade or my zoom animations all set. And now I'm going to choose to fade in my text. So I want to land on this page and have no cities visible. After we zoom into the East Coast, so right when we're at this step, I want to fade in the text. So I'm going to select it, go to my add animation, and I'm going to fade it in. Just like that. Notice where it added. It added right after we zoom into the East Coast. Then I want Athens to fade in after I come over here to Europe. So let's select this, fade it in. And let's finish up by coming down to Australia and fading in the text for Sydney. There we go. Now I typically like to zoom back out after doing a series of these sort of pan actions. I like to zoom back out to reveal the whole thing. So you do have the option here to zoom back out to page, just like this. So at the end of all those different animations, it'll come back out so you can kind of summarize or wrap up your thoughts before jumping into page 2, which would be whatever you choose to put in page 2. So let's walk through this whole stack topic over here. I'm going to go into present and we're going to go into our team. So here's page 1, who we are. I kind of just left it blank. And then I hit my right arrow, we go into page 2, and everything that you're about to see is just upon a tap of the right arrow. So I hit my right arrow once, we zoom into the East Coast, right arrow again, we're going to fade in Philadelphia, then we're going to pan over to Europe, and we're going to fade in Athens, which I forgot to relocate, it should be more over here. And then I'm going to hit my right arrow again, and we'll put it over here to Australia, and then we will fade in Sydney, Australia. And then I hit my right arrow again, we come back out to reveal the whole map in its entirety with it all complete now, and then we go into page 2. Okay, so pretty straightforward, nice and easy, very easy to add animations, and also very, very important for telling stories in your presentation. So I'm going to hit escape to get back out of the editor, and I like to just finish up by adding just kind of spicing up my presentation a little bit with little accent shapes or colors or lines or whatever you might choose to do to kind of liven it up. So I'm gonna insert a couple more of these little these guys here, which you can see right here, just some of these green shapes throughout my overview. So to do that, I'm gonna just copy the existing ones from inside this topic cover and then just paste it all over the place. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one I choose. I might choose to right click, go to advanced topic editing. Let's use this one here. So right click on just the shape, right? I'm only trying to steal the shape. There it is. Now I can paste it wherever I want. There's my shape. And I'm going to make it green. So let's make this guy, let's make it one of our branded green colors. Let's go with the light green. And let's kind of just place it right here over this corner, right about here, maybe to the right a little. And then let's add some more throughout. So I'm going to add another one. This one will make the darker green. So we do have more branding, so darker green here. Let's add another dark green. So let's paste that one, put it right about here or so. We're kind of just trying to scale upward, kind of following the path of this building here. And I might even move these guys over a little bit and maybe even resize it. Doesn't matter. Kind of going for just an upward swing. Actually, let's resize these. Make them a little bit larger and then make this one a little bit smaller. Something just like that. There we go. And then I might choose to just kind of add some of these kind of just floating around. Let's add one back here. Let's put this one behind our topic. So I'm going to send it to the back and kind of just put it right about there. And then we'll finish with one last one. And we'll just put it right here. And we'll switch back to our bright green. There we go. Let's actually make this one bright green as well. And there we are. So I would like to finish by walking through the entire presentation. So let's start by doing that. I'm going to go into presentation mode and let's preview the whole thing. So here we are from the beginning. I'm only going to use the right arrow to navigate through. So let's start by going into About the Company. And then we'll go into Vision, which remember I resized that text. So I would definitely want to go in and sort of fix these things. Here we are. And then the next action will be to zoom into our website. And then zoom in up here. And then we're going to pan down. And then we'll come back out. And then we'll continue into our culture topic up here. where we've got our two subtopics. We've got the first one here with the very minimal animation, and then we've got our video.
Global scale. Our tradition.
And then we've got our next subtopic, which I didn't change the inside, and that's okay. It looks very similar, and we're going to skip through this video. And then we're going to finish with our final topic up here, our stack topic, which is the page-based topic. And here's page 1, page 2, and then we've got our animations where we're going to go through our different regions and fade in our different text boxes. So that was a very quick intro to Prezi Present. You should feel pretty good about building your own presentation now and branding that presentation. You should feel good about being able to add images and text boxes and topics to your presentation. I highly recommend heading on over to the next video, which is called Using Prezi Present to Build a Prezi Video. Highly recommend it. It allows you to put all of your content on screen with you live in real time, so you could put your entire presentation alongside your face while you're speaking or while you're presenting, and it's just really engaging. And I highly recommend heading on over to that video and learning how to heading into that training and learning how to apply everything you've learned here specifically to Prezi Video. So this has been Getting Started with Prezi Present, and thank you for watching.